Okay, hi, my name is Shaun, and I'm going to be talking about how a plant germinates. And it germinates is a cycle of how it starts from a seed and turns into a plant. So you might wonder what happens to the actual seed in the middle of the process, but what happens is right here is a seed, and it's completely normal. You can eat it. It's like a bean seed. It looks really nice. And so it has a little opening right here. Now, this opening, which can be called a radicle, it is there so that way when it makes a root, it goes from that hole. So the root comes right here in the second picture and starts to develop. Now normally you think the root would go, okay, time to go up for a giant stem and make this thing right here. But no, the root has to go, because it's a root, it has to go downward to get water, because it can't rely on the bean so much for water. It'll run out for energy. So instead, it starts to go down more and becomes what looks like a regular root. And these little lines come out like little tentacles almost, trying to absorb water. And if you notice, the bean is ripping off too, because this is the part of the skin and the root has torn it apart and is starting to become more and more like of a tan peach color. Now, you can see a little up here is green. That is because of sunlight. The sunlight makes the plant green because of photosynthesis, which is what plants create. So the plant knows it needs to make its stem now. So it starts to lift up this way, just like that. But we have to remember the bean is right here. So it's going to lift up with the bean. So now you can see in this picture, it's starting to lift up and it's a lot more green. But then in the second picture, right, like the second one right here, it's finally lifted up, and you can see the stem. The green part is the stem. When it goes brown, it turns into the root. So this is the leftover bean, and you can see it's now going through the bean, creating leaves, starting a plant. So then when it straightens out, more gravitational pull curves the bean downward and breaks it in half, which makes it look almost like a leaf, which is why we call it a seed leaf. And these seed leaves will eventually pluck right off, because we don't even need them. There's no use for them, but they're just there because they're stuck on, because they needed them in the very beginning. But now these will fall off and die. But what happened up here is a little stem for it to keep going, and two brilliant leaves that have started a plant growth. This is how a plant germinates, because it starts from one seed, going to a root, going to a stem, and then a full plant. And these are true leaves. They're not like this, like a seed leaf. And so that's how the plant work. That's how plants work. So thank you for watching my video on how a plant seed can germinate.